Yes.
So you can't artificial intelligent or live longer, or I mean the list goes on and on. And part of that was to inject or to transfect through water, food, air, biochip, chipping, not the actual what is called smart dust that can organize itself when it's activated. It's called Teslaphoresis. When it's activated, to assemble itself into a receiver and a transmitter. And that's what you're seeing here to the right. What you're seeing is a hydrogel. You can see the fluorescence of that green area outside in the blood. The crystals out here. You're seeing an actual biochip. And just to show you the reality of this, so you can't artificial intelligent these types of pictures. These are live pictures of live blood, and you can actually see that the technology has been transfected. In this case, it was done by inoculation. And so these are fluorescents. You see the energy coming off this, and they're powered by the energy of the cell, particularly the hemoglobin of the red blood cell. That's why it damages blood, because it's pulling life force energy from another source to power itself. And these are assembled, they're self-assembled. And I published this paper, finally it was published, peer review 2022, on the major ingredients that were non-disclosed. And the major ingredient was the graphene ferric oxide. And also there was aluminum there. I found over 21 different ingredients. In fact, it was confirmed by other scientists who wrote this paper. They found 55 undeclared chemical elements within these inoculations. I located over 21, and I can provide this documentation. Swab altering the human being. All I can say about this, because I don't have your background, with transhumanism, no one in the world, whatever they're saying, at least from my knowledge basis, has the power to make a man stand upright. Anytime you induce through inoculation or through transfection, anytime you put a foreign entity in the body, whole body, even the biofield is affected, will immediately react to that. All cells join together to get rid of that. And it just so happens this nanomaterial can transfer through any sort of barrier. So it goes through the brain, goes to the heart, and it starts activating through the frequencies, these pulsating frequencies that stimulate their organization, and they assemble themselves into these chips, which can receive and transmit. That's why we're doing right now testing on identifying MAC addresses, IP addresses for human beings. And what we're finding is that over 90% of everyone that we're testing has been biochipped. They've been graphinated. I don't care if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. That's just one form. There's other ways to be transfected. Start reading the labels. You'll see this stuff. You'll see PEG and PP, polypropylenes. You'll see, yes, they've eliminated some. The nanotechnology is not being disclosed. We found it in personal hygiene products. So you have to be careful with not only food, but personal hygiene care, perfumes, deodorants. It's all been contaminated by these bad actors. And so that's why we see what I'm showing you, and why Dr. Noah Harari said humans are now hackable animals. It's not.
Well, they're also, there's a legal term for it, homoborgenesis. You know that in a courtroom, that they have now assigned that term to jabbed people that have this technology in them.
Yeah. So this is the paper. I'm happy to provide it. Other doctors are talking about it, but we can talk about the problem. We have to find a solution. We need to find an antidote. What is the antidote for aluminum poisoning? What is the antidote for glyphosate poisoning? What is the antidote for graphene? Is there a single thing you can do to neutralize violinidy dichloride, to eliminate phosgene, to take out glyphosate, for taking out PFOS and PFOA, for taking out these forever chemicals, for taking out microplastics, for taking out heavy metals like lead and mercury? You see, there is. And that's what I've been working on. And that's what I've been happy to work on to find this particular solution. And when I look under an electron microscope, you're looking at the product's major ingredient. It's called zeolite. It's clinoptilolite zeolite, and it's construct. This is at 500,000 times magnification. Not what these other people are talking about, the Anna person or whoever. I mean, their microscopes at best go up to 1600. We're talking 500,000 times magnification. This is what you see. What you see is a construct, and that's construct I just got published today on its zeta potential. That's why it's called zeolite Z. Z stands for zeta. Zeta meaning it's charged. Why is charge important? Because if you have surface area and it's positively charged, it's going to be a problem. This is negatively charged surface, so it literally attracts the graphene oxide, which is surface area is positive charge. And it's multidimensional, indigestible, so it collects it, the body then releases it, because if it slides through the course of the skin or through urination and defecation or even respiration, it comes out. So then we took it further. We actually did a study on this. And what we studied is we studied many of the compounds that I just mentioned. Graphene, ferric oxide, aluminum, lead, mercury, and we studied 24 substances. And what we found in every case, that these things drop down after 90 days, up to 90%, literally, because anything coming out through the skin is going to end up in the hair. In the study, these spikings here of aluminum is a result of before, where there was hardly any aluminum coming out of the body. Once you started taking Masterpiece, the aluminum starts being excreted out through the skin, and it ends up in the hair. We test the hair, and we see, now this goes up, and then eventually drops down as you eliminate this. But going back to the actual things that I just said, with some corrections in the zeta potential and the pH of this Masterpiece Zeolite Z is at an 8.4 at negative 80 millivolts. There's nothing like this in the world. Nothing tests out like this. When we're looking at under high resolution transmission electron microscopy, you can see the dimensional aspects of this material. And with its high electrical charge and its surface area, when I added in the graphene oxide, look what happened. It literally, like a magnet, attracted that. And we're looking at this at, if you see the high resolution, 0.1 nanometers to 0.2. We're talking subatomic. And then here, if we look at the scale, 2.54 centimeters equals 50 nanometers, okay? We're looking at things that are impossible to see unless you have this type of technology. So what reason I'm showing this is working not just at the cellular level, not just at the molecular level, not just at the atomic level, but at the subatomic level. And this is the evidence to prove that. And even as we look deeper into this, let's see if I can, we actually look at this and the multi-dimensions of this and literally see the attracted aluminum and the attracted graphene and all the poisons that are in that nano size, some larger, some smaller, being attracted into this and collected. This is how you demagnetize yourself in relationship to this technology. This is how you reverse any sort of Tesla Parathesis biochipping technology, and you literally disconnect yourself from the Internet of Things and the Internet of Rings. This is the technology must. And I have no idea what this is. I'm telling you this because it is a matter of emergency in saving humanity and what we have, and what saving us from sudden death events, the relationship, the poisons that we're being exposed to. So this is just more the technology. Here again.